All right, Shalom Akim. It's a high spirit wind Judah of the GMS Mississippi camp. Giving our honor and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, by Hashem Shai, by Hashem Kodash. I also want to give double honor to our apostles of Great Millstone, Ruel, and peace and blessings to the house of David the elect. All right, and let me adjust this. What I want to go into today is basically, having tempers in all things. One of the greatest challenges in this truth is balance. And every brother, balance plays out in every brother's life differently. All right, different brothers have a different definition of what it means to be balanced. But in this truth, it tells you that we strive for the masteries. All right, and in essence, that means that we're striving for the kingdom. All right, but it says, man that having strive, he's temperate in all things, man. And temperate basically means balance. All right, and in this truth, we have to balance out our lives because, we get on, brothers, and we exhort brothers to basically be consistent in this truth and put the truth first. All right, persistent in this truth and put the truth first. All right, but there's an imbalance of all you doing is reading, or all you doing is, studying, watching videos, and you're neglecting the mundane life. You're neglecting your earthly duties. All right, as a man, we can't be at our grandma's house drinking out of orange juice out the refrigerator, but we put on the garment on Saturday, you know what I mean, and we going out there and teach, man. It takes a responsible man to go out there and teach. Fair enough that, you do have brothers in this truth who are 13, 14, 15, all right, so obviously that doesn't apply to you, all right, but the scriptures basically does say that we have to be tempered in all things, man. All right, so one thing that you learn in this truth is that you have to balance everything. All right, you have to balance, having your job or your hustle, and you got to balance that with being in the truth. And you got to balance being in the truth with dealing with your woman, all right, your family, all right. You got to balance that with your hobbies, okay. So your hobbies balance you out. It allows your spirit or your mind to digest, all right, or download the information that you're absorbing when you read or watch videos. You might paint, you might make beats, make music, whatever it may be, okay? But the challenge is to juggle all of that every day, because one day you might be balanced in it, but the next day you might be thrown off, man. All right? It also tells you in Proverbs 11:1 that a false balance is an abomination to Yahweh Shai. So the Most High is all about balance. All right? Somebody noticed in this truth, it requires you to step out of your comfort zone to have balance. And when I say comfort zone, it could be, your zone of comfort might be your house, might be your apartment. You should never leave the apartment. Now, we always get on brothers, about going out too much, or, being in these club-like bars or whatever. But you can also be your worst enemy just by being alone, and that might require you to step out the house. Stepping out of the house doesn't necessarily mean you're at a club, but you have to get a change of scenery. You might go to a bookstore, all right? Just to get a change of scenery and give your spirit a different air to breathe, all right? So you might go to a bookstore, you might go to a little coffee shop, all right? Things like, you got to figure out, what's good for you. The scripture says, the Sirach prove thy soul and thy life, and that what is evil for it, give not that unto it. You got to see what's evil for your spirit, but you also have to see what's good for your spirit. And the proof on that is in Sirach, the 14th chapter, where it says, do good to thyself. So how can you do good to yourself if you don't know what's good for your spirit, man? It's kind of like, I get into different diets or whatnot, and I have to figure out what's good for me. There's certain types of food that's bad for me, and I can tell it's bad because I start looking different, all right? A lot of processed food. But then there's certain foods there's a great benefit to my body. I can tell because I started feeling different. And I started looking different. It digests well. My body processes and assimilates the minerals that come from those food. All right? But I had to experience the good and the bad to have a realization that that's not good for my body. But it's the same thing for your spirit, man. All right? Being in the park for a lot of brothers is good for brother spirit. Exercising is not only good for your body, but it's also good for your mind and your spirit, man. You know? So, you know, part of our challenge in this truth is to juggle everything, man. All right? Because, yeah, we're men of the Lord, but, you know, the Most High holds us to a high standard. And we can't be out here teaching if we're always sick. Especially this time of the year, it'd behoove you to have some basic knowledge about certain herbs and certain things, man. All right, but that's going to require time, and it's going to require you to be balanced in your life, all right, to learn different things, man. All right? It tells you that, you know, how can one have wisdom if basically he's always occupied, back in Sirach, the 38th chapter. So you have to pray to Yahweh Shem Shai that he allows you to utilize your time, man. All right? Pray to Yahweh Shem Shai that he allows you to utilize your time in his truth. And even things in your flesh is really for your spirit. For an example, exercising, that's primarily for your flesh, but there's a great benefit on your spirit, man. All right? Like I said, getting a change of scenery, it might be good for your eyes or your flesh, all right, but it's also good for your spirit. Eating a certain way, eating so-called organic foods, man, it might be good for your flesh, but it's also good for your spirit, man. All right? So we got to pray to Yahweh Shem Shai. He give us a spirit of balance, all right? So it could be fully focused in this truth and well restored, all right? Because those things that I named, they are restorative, man. All right, even driving around the city for me, that's restorative, man. All right? But with that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. I hope this is something that you can build off of. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai, by Hashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors once again to our apostles of Great Millstone rule well. Peace and blessings to the house of David the elect. And with that, Abba, and Kwame Asha Allah, Shalom.